Hey everybody, it's Diandra Marie, and this is Power, a mini-series I created for Women's History Month. I interview 4 exceptional women who are making strides in their industry. They give their perspectives on working in male-dominated fields and drop some gems along the way. Kanye was right. No one man should have all that power, because we hold our own too. So stay tuned for today's episode of Power on itsdiandramarie.com.
No one man should have all that power.
And I had to stop by Harlem, New York, WHCR, and I'm sitting next to Selena Hill, who is the creator of Let Your Voice Be Heard Radio. She is an award-winning journalist, and she's also a digital editor at Black Enterprise. Like, that's pretty dope. I do want to get into kind of how you meshed your two worlds. So you love activism, you love speaking on social justice and social issues, but you also like media and journalism. And how did you personally find your happy medium to combine the two for your platform?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's literally Let Your Voice Be Heard, which, as you said, it's a radio show and a podcast. Mm-hmm. And basically, when I first created the show, I was back in college. Okay. And I wanted to give voice to the students about issues that matter to us, but we really weren't given a platform. It does give us that opportunity to talk to people like communities of color, disenfranchised people, people who are marginalized, people who don't necessarily get the spotlight and aren't always covered in media. Right. So we give them voice, and we also invite them to the show a lot of times. Like, for instance, we've had activists on the show, like Tamika Mowry, we had on the show, Dante Barry. I mean, those are like well-renowned, renowned activists, but like, you know, for anyone could call into the show, right? So it also gives you the opportunity to talk back to us while we are recording live on Facebook or Instagram, or you can call into the show, and we have real conversations. And our mission of the show is to inform, educate, and empower. So we hope that if you're listening, you get a lot out of it and you feel empowered to make the changes that you want to see. Black Enterprise, it's a legacy brand that really spotlights Black entrepreneurship. Yeah. It's another form of empowerment. I think that outlet, it also means a lot to me because I get a chance to speak to some of the most powerful people in corporate America, or like even in a lot of like business spaces, like people who've been there and done that, or the next up and coming. So it's also empowering, but not so much when it comes to like social activism.
I feel like with any field, with anyone's dream, it's always going to be hard and there's always going to be roadblocks. But for you in media, what do you feel like were some of your roadblocks to getting where you are now?
Like just getting in the door? Are you kidding me? Like exactly. Like what I told you, Diandra, I worked for so long as like when I first graduated college, I started working at an unpaid internship. It was 50 hours a week. From there, I had another internship at a radio station, and eventually I started getting paid for what I was doing, but I was freelancing, or I was temporary, or I was a contractor. So it took a lot, and like I said, I didn't get my first full paid job until I was 28 years old. Wow. And my story is very familiar with a lot of, especially Black women, like women of color, trying to make it in journalism and media. The struggle is real. I was actively pursuing different jobs, wasn't getting any callbacks. It just felt like I felt stifled, but I really had to like pray about it and become grateful. And I just really had to ask God, like, help me to see the light, because like
I don't see nothing. I just see tunnel and no light.
Yeah, it was hard.
I don't want to get too deep into the sadness of the #MeToo movement, but I know you recently interviewed Tarana Burke, who started the movement about a decade ago. So for you, being a young woman, being a young Black woman, working in entertainment, working in media, and kind of seeing it come full circle and there being retaliations toward these sort of actions, what does that do for you? Like, how do you feel about that?
Absolutely. So Tarana Burke actually came by Black Enterprise not too long ago. What she's doing, it really resonates with me because, I mean, if you look at the work she's been doing, it was like underground for so long. Yeah, definitely. Then all of a sudden it just takes off. And a part of the interview, one of the things she said was, I was afraid that the work I was doing would be overshadowed and co-opted by, she didn't say this, but I kind of felt like she was saying by white women. It took celebrities, it took white women to start saying Me Too for our voices to finally be heard. Yeah. Right, but what's inspiring about Tawana is the fact that she's still doing that work. she still persisted. She didn't get these accolades until what, a decade? Over a decade later?
Yeah, definitely.
And now she's finally being propelled and uplifted as the founder of Me Too. But she also said during the interview, I know a lot of other Black women who had their work just co-opted, just erased. No, she used the word erased.
Wow.
And she didn't want to be one of those Black women.
Just to wrap it up a little bit, name a woman in history, present or past, that inspires you to do what you do.
I would say Michelle Obama. She's Black excellence.
Yeah.
To me, like, you know, she graduated from Harvard, I believe it was, quit her job and put everything on the line to help Barack Obama become the first African-American president. And then when she was first lady, she did a phenomenal job at uplifting, especially young children. Like,
definitely.
she was all about like healthy nutrition and she did stuff like that. So I think that she's just phenomenal. Other women I would have to name would be like Tamika Mallory, who one of the creators of the women's movement. I think she's doing great work when it comes to just speaking up for people like me, you know, women that look like me.
Right.
So she's doing a great job too.
Awesome. So I just want to thank you so much for sitting down with me. Make sure you follow her at Miss Selena Hill. Make sure you visit Black Enterprise. You'll see her interviewing some of your favorite activists, sometimes celebrities, corporate owners, you know, CEOs. Thank you again, Miss Selena Hill. It is Selena Hill. It's Diandra Marie, and we're out.